Thank you, Comrade Shali, for directing our program. I am given a very simple task. I am simply just going to moderate the program as per the agenda items that have been allocated to the comrades, and I am going to call our panelists. As I was introduced, my name is Taddeus Shithigona. I'm a member of the SWAPO Party Central Committee, assigned to Oshana region as the chairperson. Without wasting more time, I would like them to start by calling Comrade Ephraim Nekongo, the secretary of the SWAPO Party Youth League and the commander of the Young Lions of Namibia. And then next will be Comrade Sisa Namandje, the member of the Central Committee of the SWAPO Party, as well as a member of the Political Bureau of SWAPO Party. Please give Comrade Sisa a big round of applause. And then lastly, I would like to call the military commander, Comrade General, retired Lieutenant General Martin Shali. He's a veteran of the National Liberation Struggle of Namibia with a long history. Comrades, thank you so much. Comrade General, you can have a seat. Comrade, I hope the program was already circulated so that we simply follow the discussions as per the program of today. This is the yearly or annual Grootfontein Youth Indaba. It's a youth engagement. As you can see, young people have come out in their numbers to come and listen to their national leaders at different levels in SWAPO Party and the government of the Republic of Namibia. I'm just going to give a brief, detailed introduction of all our panelists in terms of their work in Namibia, in government, in their private capacities, and in exile. For those who were there, I see it's only Comrade General Shali was there. Comrade Sisa also had a brief stint, but he was very young. I know if he was older, he would have also carried the guns. Okay, I will then start with Comrade Ephraim Nekongo, our National Secretary. Most of you only know him as the Secretary of the SWAPO Party Youth League. But for some of us, Comrade Nekongo has always been a youth leader at the grassroots level, where he served as the chairperson of Oshana Regional Youth Forum. And then he served also in the Central Committee of the SWAPO Party Youth League until he was elected as the National Secretary of the SWAPO Party Youth League in 2017 at that Congress that was held in Katima Mulilo. Comrade Nekongo is also a member of the Central Committee of SWAPO Party. He's a member of Parliament and the Deputy Chairperson of the Parliamentary Committee on Gender Equality, Health and Social Welfare. Okay, we then move on to Comrade Sisa Namandje. I know most of you know who Comrade Sisa Namandje is. He's a renowned lawyer, #1 defender of SWAPO Party. I know last year he was having sleepless nights when those who were trying to stop our president from representing SWAPO Party, he made sure that he put them in their place, and at the end of the day we have Comrade Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah as the president of SWAPO Party. Comrade Sisa Namandje was also a military commander in an independent Namibia with the rank of Lieutenant Colonel in the year 2000 and 2001, where he was then head of policy planning. Comrade Namandje, as I have said before, is also a renowned lawyer and legal practitioner of both the High Court and Supreme Court of the Republic of Namibia. On numerous occasions, he has also acted as a judge of the High Court of Namibia, and he has written more than 5 books, of which some of them I have personally and I have read through. He is an author of note He's also a member of the Central Committee of SWAPO Party, as well as the Political Bureau of SWAPO Party. I deliberately am ending with Martin Shali because he is the most senior figure in terms of this lineup, and I know Comrade Nekongo, even if he's a secretary of the Youth League, he will pardon me in that regard. Comrade Shali joined SWAPO Party at the tender age of 17 years in 1971, and then joined the National Liberation Struggle in Zambia in the year 1974 at the age of 20. He went on to serve as a member of the Military Council as well as a secretary of the Military Council of the People's Liberation Army of Namibia, in which he served from 1977 until 1989. The Military Council was the highest decision-making body of plan. Comrade Shali also served as the chief of the Plan Chief of Operations from the year 1980 to 1989. Those of you who have followed the history of the liberation struggle of Namibia, the most fierce battles were fought between those years. Comrade Shali also served as a special advisor to the SWAPO Party Director of Operations, Director of Elections during the first democratic elections in the year 1989. Those of you know that was Comrade, our late President, Comrade Hage Geingob. May his soul continue to rest in peace. In an independent Namibia, Comrade Martin Shali was then inducted in the Namibian Defense Force with the rank of Brigadier General, responsible for operations, plan, and training from the year 1990 to the year 1995. He then went on to serve as the NDF Chief of Staff with the rank of Major General from the year 1996 to 2000. And then he went on to serve as an Army Commander, still with the rank of Major General from the year 2000 to 2005. He then went on to be posted as a diplomat, Namibia High Commissioner to the Republic of Zambia in the year 2005, from which he was recalled to come and serve as the chief of the Namibian Defense Force. Currently, Comrade Martin Shali is a member of the Central Committee of SWAPO Party. Can we give him a big round of applause? To proceed with our agenda today, we have clustered topics, and each of our panelists, as I have introduced them and described them here, are assigned specific discussion, starting with Comrade Nekongo, who is assigned the topic of youth empowerment and leadership. I'm just going to, I don't know whether he has prepared a presentation, but I would want to pose specific questions in that context, which is then youth empowerment and leadership. Comrade Nekongo, as the Secretary of the SWAPO Party Youth League, can you please maybe just elaborate on how the SWAPO Party regional and local elections campaign, which is themed Unity in Diversity, Natural Resources Beneficiation and Youth Empowerment, creates leadership opportunities for young people? It is a question to you, Comrade Nekongo, in the context of the topic that has been assigned to you.
Thank you. Viva SWAPO! Viva SWAPO! First, thank you, Taddeus, for the opportunity. Let me also thank the leadership of Grootfontein District Youth League for organizing this Indaba, and you continue doing it. Please give them a round of applause. I also want to inform you that this should also serve as a campaign. So first, before I go to the topic you asked me, I want to make use of this occasion to call all of us here to go out in big numbers, ask your family, your husband, your relative, your girlfriend, to go out and vote for SWAPO Party, specifically here in Grootfontein, so that our councillor, the regional councillor, who you just voted a few months ago, I can see her there. So please make sure that Comrade Councillor retain this district or constituency. Is that a commitment? Is that a commitment? Thank you. We also call all of you to go and make sure that this time around in Grootfontein municipality, only SWAPO Party must be the one to rule this state. Can we make sure that we don't even want another seat should be SWAPO, okay? And young people, you must be the one to be the champion of this campaign. Thank you. Taddeus, you asked me a very vital question that we as a youth league believe that, and I know Comrade Shali is also agreeing with me, that young people are not just leaders of tomorrow, but are leaders of today and tomorrow. And we have been preparing ourselves. I must say, I'm the most proud secretary of SWAPO Party Youth League, because if you look at the number of young people that are participating in local authority and regional council elections are SWAPO Party Youth League members. If I could make history, I think I'm the first secretary who have achieved that. In all local authority, there is no much of local authority where you are not seeing a face of a young people. And this is what we have been crying, that we want to sit on the table of decision making. So to answer your question, SWAPO Party Youth League have been calling for the coexistence, that where the elder is, where Comrade Shali is, who have known Mbazuka and carry Mbazuka, a young person must also be there, also to tap from the wisdom and understand where we are coming from, so that we also know how do we also tell the future generation how it can be done. So on that score, we have achieved that so far, and we are ready to tap from the wisdom and also to sit on the table of leadership and provide leadership in all our local authority and regional council.
Thank you, Comrade Nekongo. I'm not done with you yet, but I'm gonna move on to the next panelist, who's Comrade Sisa Namandje. Comrade Sisa, you are assigned the topic of advancing social justice and well-being of youth. Now, being a lawyer, you are already a social justice activist. What is your take on advancing social justice and well-being among the youth?
Yes, thanks. First of all, for the Youth League to invite us to Grootfontein. I'm happy to be speaking in front of a huge number of youth, and I'm very happy to be here. And to my colleague, Mr. Nekongo, Comrade Nekongo, you are doing a good job. Youth League is very, very active, is very visible, and we are happy to have such a Youth League. Now, back to the topic. First of all, is the basic requirement for you to facilitate social justice is to have the foundational infrastructure on the basis of which you can promote and facilitate social justice among youth. And that is a constitution we have, a celebrated one. But of course, the constitution is not enough. Our constitution in the preamble celebrates and pays tribute to Namibian for having fought valiantly and having given us freedom and justice. And then the same constitution under Article 95 obligates government to come up with socio-economic programs for the people of Namibia to have a decent life. And youth are included. So at the constitutional level, infrastructure, legal infrastructure-wise, we are fine. But of course, we live a life of contradiction. Our leaders from day one, they have provided the best policies. They have provided the best statutes, Act of Parliament. But in socio-economic life, the truth is there's a contradiction. Not every one of us is able to enjoy decent life, particularly the youth. Unemployment, ignorance, disease and crime, and hate among the youth towards one another. Those are bigger problems. And some, because of socio-economic problems, could not get the education they wanted to do. As a result, they cannot get the opportunity to work and to obtain decent employment. What I'm trying to say is that Namibia have done well. The legal basis is there. What you should do is to promote, advocate, and facilitate that SWAPO carry out the aggressive reform that is being pushed now by the 8th administration to ensure that youth benefits. You see now the National Youth Development Fund is a celebrated project, is a deliberate policy by the SWAPO government, the SWAPO Party in particular first, and then its government, NASFAF, and free education is coming. Things are improving, but we need your support.
Thank you. On that submission, Comrade Sisa Namandje, but I'm also not done with you. I'm just going to give every panelist a chance to have a first go at their topic. Comrade Shali, you are assigned the topic of political education among the youth, and I believe from the organizers that was deliberate, especially when I was giving your CV here, brief CV, it says that you have joined SWAPO Party as a pioneer at the age of 17. So you should have gone through that grooming and development as a young cadre of SWAPO Party to be where you are today. Hence the topic that is assigned to you, political education among the youth. Your take, Comrade General.
Thank you very much. I think deliberate it was. I joined others actually to express my my sentiments of thanks and appreciation for being invited to be here at this important Indaba today. And I thank the organizers, the SWAPO Party in general, for allowing such activity to take place at this crucial moment of our existence. Indaba is a Zulu word for an important meeting, and I want to listen for an important meeting of the right people at the right time to discuss important issues that matter to them. That's what Indaba means. Today, therefore, we are gathering here to discuss matters, very important matters that matter to us. Each one of you is given the opportunity or provided with the opportunity to participate, which is a good thing. Now, political education. Political education. What does it mean? Political education is a social science subject. Therefore, it's a process of instilling in the minds of individuals the courage, knowledge, and the need to participate in, for example, political, like we're doing now, cultural, seniors dancing, sport, people are on the field, as you can see, playing sport, nation building, activities, and many others. So it's a process. Underline the word that it's a process. Political education is a process. It's not something that you can do, wake up in the next morning and do and think, or read a book overnight and think you are educated. It's a process. And this process, to be effective, starts with young people. You capture people while they are young. If you look at the tent to my left, far left, and you ask, well, okay, we're back on. You ask, why are these children here? 30 years later, these children will tell their own stories to tell. It's a process that you must understand. But this process, this success of it is driven by our past history. It's very important. So our past is a shared history. In the government of Namibia, there are so many stories to talk about, to tell, and this history continues to be enriched, every single day. And this day is one of those single days. My argument is, for example, to quote my introduction, just imagine, supposedly, SWAPO did not exist at all. Was it still going to be possible to assemble here today under the banner of SWAPO? The answer is emphatically no. If SWAPO was not founded, if people did not found SWAPO, those who founded SWAPO, made it as strong as it is today, this meeting in Indaba would not be taking place under the banner of SWAPO. That's very important. Therefore, history shapes our future activities. And everything we're doing here also will shape the future of our younger generations, particularly the children between 1 and 10 years. Thank you for now.
Thank you, General, for a very sophisticated submission in terms of your topic. Then I'll go back to Comrade Nekongo, who I've started with. And I started off by asking him a specific question. I think I was a little bit unfair in that regard. So, Comrade Secretary, going down to your topic, which is youth empowerment and leadership. You are in a driving seat to ensure that you drive those programs and promote developmental programs that are aimed at uplifting the young people of Namibia. So, what are the mentorship and training programs such as those under the Namibia Youth Credit Scheme? I know you are familiar with that particular government policy. Before we move to the National Youth Development Fund, we have been there before. So what are the mentorship and training programs such as those under the National Youth Credit Scheme? Is the government prioritizing to prepare youth for leadership roles in politics and public service?
Yeah, no, thank you. First of all, youth empowerment and leadership. We started from there. As young people of SWAPO, as young people of Namibia, we have been crying that young people must be empowered. Young people must also sit at the table of decision making. It's a call that we have been making. For the first time in the history of our country, this time around, young people are in the leadership. First of all, we salute the President of the Republic of Namibia, Dr. Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah. If you look at that cabinet, let's start from there. It's a huge empowerment for young people. If you look at it there, I said SWAPO Party Youth League was the biggest winner when it comes to that empowerment. Those that are in cabinet, you can start from the Prime Minister, the list you know. Yes, some can think, yeah, but these are not under 35. But that's how leadership starts. But still, we still have those that are under 35 in cabinet. That's now leadership that we are talking about. If you go to Central Committee of the SWAPO Party, young people are there in leadership, in Central Committee. If you go to Parliament, young people are there. SWAPO is also the party that has the youngest member of parliament in that chamber. So when you ask the question of empowerment and leadership, we are included in the leadership. Now, empowerment is a call that we have been making when we have been running around all our 14 regions as SWAPO Party to make sure that the SWAPO Party manifesto is crafted. When we crafted the SWAPO Party manifesto, we ensure that empowerment programs must be developed. And there are many of them. One, free education. We start from there. Next year, free education is coming. We have created vocational training facilities and vocational training programs that will benefit young people. We have created National Youth Service. Grootfontein is just here in our region. Some of the young people were joining there now from Grootfontein. That is Youth Empowerment Program. We have created National Youth Council with a proper funding. That is youth empowerment. We also now created the facility for entrepreneurs. That is youth empowerment. We also make sure that through the SWAPO Party manifesto, we must make sure that our creative industry must be supported. You have seen them and the money when they were performing here. We want to make sure that they are taken care of. We, in the same manifesto, which, although I will speak, as a youth, sometimes we can also become easily disciplined. When you look down there, those are young people playing soccer. In our manifesto, we said we want stadium. And it's in the budget. Comrade SG, I'm worried with the implementation. The money is there, we are now in the middle, but we are not seeing the stadium being constructed. You can see my young people are there playing. We want the stadium. It's also an empowerment program for young people so that we can able to play our soccer in a conducive environment. SWAPO Party have provided that. For your own information, the budget is there. Now, us as young people, while we are here, we must now demand the leadership to say, we want to see Onzi, Taitima, Okapareta Katungu. That's what we want. We want to see a start of the construction of what we have promised and what is in already the budget. So the Minister of Youth, if you are hearing me, wherever you are, the young people are here in Grootfontein playing in a dusty stadium. We want our stadium. Those are youth empowerment program. The other one is for the entrepreneurship. It was launched. We salute the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance, and we are still urging all of us to go and continue getting those services and the support that we need. So please knock at the door of your councillors, knock at the door of the governor to demand what is earmarked for us. So there are many youth empowerment programs in that manifesto. It goes to Ministry of Health and Social Services. There are many programs earmarked there. Ministry of Education, I spoke about it, and many others. So therefore, if any political party come here and say, twake, just tell them that we have SWAPO Party. SWAPO Party manifesto is going to be implemented. We will continue voting for SWAPO Party because it's the only party with a track record that can talk the truth, that can implement so that the social aspect of our people is taken care of. I hope I have answered the question. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Comrade Secretary. We were here last night and those were the pending questions. And now I'm just wishing I had you on the back so that you put that across. That is Comrade Nekongo highlighting. I know young people who were here last night, they were very much firing on the aspect of what is the SWAPO Party-led government doing to ensure that we are empowered as young people? And that is Comrade Nekongo, just highlighting some but not all programs that are in place by the SWAPO Party-led government to make sure that we champion the agenda of youth emancipation. Comrade Sisa Namandje, when you were speaking for the first time, you have highlighted that the foundation is there in terms of a legal instrument, which is the Constitution of the Republic of Namibia, creating that conducive environment for the SWAPO Party-led government to then drive the transformation agenda in the Republic of Namibia. Now, I would want to, you have been a member of SWAPO Party for as long as I remember, you have been following what the party have been doing over the years. Hence, I would want you to just highlight what are the policies that the SWAPO Party has developed to combat inequality, promote inclusivity, such as affirmative action, BEE programs, and as well as gender-based violence prevention to enhance the overall well-being of the young people of Namibia.
Yes, thanks very much. First of all, there is an existing legal understanding and constitutional understanding that the law, in its majestic equality, forbids poor, the rich, from sleeping under the bridges, from begging in the streets, from stealing bread. What does that mean in simple terms? The law expects everyone to have a decent life, poor or rich. At least you must not be sleeping under the bridge, you must not be begging in the street, and you must not steal bread. That should be the standard basic requirement of decency as far as living standard is concerned. So Namibia did well. Our founding fathers and founding mothers, when they came up with the constitution, they did one thing right. Our constitution is drafted from the perspective that, and assumption that we are not equal. Unlike other constitutions that are crafted in the manner that everybody in the society is equal to the other. Because of our history and the apartheid system, our founding fathers and mothers, they knew, come the 21st of March 1990, we will never be equal because of successive years of colonialism by our colonial masters. Therefore, you will find that under Article 21 and other articles dealing with affirmative action, government has been given a constitutional direct and positive obligation to come up with policies to achieve socio-economic equality with no shame and reservation. How did SWAPO do this? There has been a number of pieces of legislation in procurement, in education, in mining sector that are ought to be used by those who are in the executive to promote social justice for black people, but more importantly for young people. But unfortunately, our problems are made by our people and SWAPO representatives at many levels. What do? Some people carry their personal prejudices to offices. What do I mean? Prejudices in the sense that they use tribalism to impede and work against transformation. They use economic and political jealousy to block transformation agenda of our party. They use regionalism and other things, and they end up promoting and advancing the formerly advantaged race. That's white people. When there is no constitutional agenda and directive that we must promote white as far as the economy is concerned. And the other one is that we deploy people who are not sufficiently socialized into foundational values and norms of the SWAPO Party, like justice, freedom, and equality. They don't understand. Some people, of course, there are those who do the right things. What do they do? Recently, I spoke to some young persons. I was struck 2 years ago. There was a tender in the north to supply school stationery. And those who crafted tender terms, they moved from the requirement of going to the bank and get a letter from the bank that if you get this tender, the bank is prepared to lend money to you. Someone who does not understand our socio-economic background brought up, just to supply stationery, a requirement that you must have 2 million in your bank. These are black people who were going to get these tenders. But because of this bad decision making, this formerly disadvantaged black people, and particularly young people, will never be able to grow. Because somebody introduced a retrogressive policy. Another issue, the other day I have to defend 2 brothers who were disqualified in a tender because they share a postal address. Can you believe it? That means this person has never been exposed to poverty, has never been exposed to struggle, socio-economic struggle of Namibian people. In a village, the school principal uses his postal address for the whole community. Everybody. You receive your communication from them. So from that background, if that person knows our background, we'll never have created such a policy. Another one is a person being excluded because apparently they are from the same address, like Onyanya. But they allow formerly disadvantaged people to tender to company on the 2nd floor of Sanlam building. And they don't see that as conflict of interest. You understand? Because they say, no, that is formal kind of arrangement, not village thing. It's fine for those who are in cities. So these are the policies. But SWAPO has very good policy, but our people are the ones that are retrogressive in terms of implementation of our policies. So we have done well, but people's mindset must change. So you are talking about that we have a comrade, Nekongo is talking about we have a lot of money. But unfortunately, there has always been money in Namibia. Some people are so brave enough that they cry around to get position when they cannot work. They are incompetent. When they go in the position, they do not know what they are doing. I'm not talking about politicians and members of the executive. I'm talking about administrators. What's the problem? So as far as SWAPO is concerned, SWAPO has always driven an aggressive transformational agenda for black people in particular and the youth.
Well, you heard it from Comrade Sisa, and I believe what he is highlighting are many of the true life stories of black Namibians, particularly young people, who makes up the majority of our population. Moving on to Comrade Shali, first you highlighted what it means to the term political education, and reflecting on your own legacy as a respected military commander and general serving the last rank in the Namibian Defense Force. Obviously you have subscribed to certain principles over the years as a young cadre then in the party that brought you to where to arm. Hence, perhaps I just wanted you to highlight to young people here what were those principles. Obviously, SWAPO Party has its own aims and objectives. You may also highlight on that is required of every member to subscribe to, but there are also principles that you have picked up from your seniors, Comrade, our late founding father. Those were your direct commanders, the late Commander Dimo Hamambo. Obviously, they have instilled in you those, and you are fortunate enough to serve alongside those respected and noble men of our country. But these young people might also want to benefit from those attributes and those principles that have always carried you until where you are today.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to comment on what both Commander Congo and Commander Sisa have just said. Basically, what they're saying, the things we are doing is like shooting ourselves in the foot. We are shooting ourselves in the foot, or feet. Now, and if you listen carefully to all that they had to say, all that they said speaks to political education, which is a process. It includes training, it includes drilling. So I remember talking to my former teacher many years, asking him, where were you trained? He said, no, we were not, I was not trained, I was drilled in education. They used the word drilled in education. Because when you drill a person and train a person, that this is, the end result is different. When you drill a person, he knows, even when you wake up in the middle of the night and say, attention, he knows what to do. You train a person to wake up, but even if you wake him up, he does not know whether he wakes up lying down, or sitting, or lying on his stomach or back. That's the difference between training and drilling. Now, education. Let me just bring out something related to the question that was put to me, to understand what shapes individuals. But basically, I must admit that nothing really prepares you for real life. There's no such thing. It all comes with experience later. You know, when we train people, troops, for example, to go fight, recruits, when they first train them to go to fight, if you go ask them 10 years later, they will tell you different stories. Our people were trained, they were trained first in Tanzania. I mean, who came from Tanzania and are coming to join Nakuru, established a base at Grootfontein. They did not go there to be attacked by the enemy. They went there to attack the enemy, but the contrary happened. As I'm saying, nothing prepares you for real life. SWAPO Party, the party SWAPO Party now that we know, was founded with clear aims and objectives. Clear aims and objectives. Some of which were, amongst those were, one is to liberate this country from foreign occupation. To put an end to anything associated with colonialism. And finally, to set up an indigenous administration. That we did from 1990. We have achieved so many things. We have set ourselves and more goals and objectives and aims through our policy documents, policy statements, declarations, plans, again, like Vision 2030, many and others. Harambee Prosperity Plan, is it well? National Development Plans, and these are things that Comrade Nekonga is referring to. Disappointingly, it's ourselves again not implementing some of the things. It's not SWAPO to blame, but we must watch out that there are elements out to sabotage us. Now, as a result of the indigenous administration that we set up in 1990, today we have peace. We have harmony. We also have this thing called unity, but the unity is elusive. So I call it elusive unity, because no much political education is being done. We have democracy with all its freedoms, but again, no much political education is being done. For us to understand exactly what are these rights, where are they applicable and when, and how best they serve us. So, and the list goes on. Now, political education, still, I just want to bring out one thing. So, during particularly, remember, between 1966, after Nguru Gombashe, and 1970 to 71, actually, the leadership of SWAPO in the country was literally rounded up and rendered almost ineffective. SWAPO in the country here was revived by the youth, much of through political education, through listening to the voice of Namibia in Tanzania, went to school, listening to that, were educated and molded as a result of that. That's why exactly myself personally, 1971, I decided to join SWAPO, not the liberation struggle yet. I joined the SWAPO with many others. So my membership card is signed by General Charles Namoro because he was the branch secretary where I was, 1971. And that's how history shapes people. He signs my card, and for many years later, we came to work together, to date. The other is the Tanga conference, when SWAPO, after that meeting, SWAPO established wings. Among the important ones were SWAPO Youth League in 1970, January. Hence, the youth were now empowered officially and constitutionally by in terms of SWAPO constitution that time to actually engage in the politics, in the mobilization, and so forth. And the second one is National Union of Namibian Workers. If you remember, in 1970, immediately after the Congress, the conference, labor strikes took place here. Riots, we called it riots. And all of us know the consequences. That's how SWAPO was revived. And then from there, the rest is history. Now, there's one element I want to bring out here. It's part of our political education and what we should do. During the liberation struggle, we had a commissariat. First, we had the department, or the Department of Mobilization and Ideology, up until 1989, thereabout. Then it was replaced by what is now called Department of Information, Mobilization and Information. Exactly what information is, that I cannot tell, I don't know. Then, coupled with that, we have also established party school. What is the reason for that? And the party school speaks and tries to answer the questions that were raised here. I think Comrade Sisa mainly, if you recall. Why do people join SWAPO? And so forth. I earlier pointed at the children in that tent Those children, 5 years later, if she joins the SWAPO, she will tell you, I joined the SWAPO because I saw Ephraim Congo speaking at this place. In the presence of Secretary General SWAPO, I even forgot what her name was. You see, but it's a very, very strong, leader who was there. It's a woman, and I'm a girl, and I want to be like her. One day, become Secretary General SWAPO, she'll tell you, because she's sitting there listening. It's simple. That's the reason. It's part of the mobilization we're talking about. And then throughout SWAPO structures, particularly in the plan with the political commissars, with a guy called the Chief Political Commissar of the People's Liberation of Namibia, a member of Central Committee automatically is Political Bureau. Why? Besides the Army Commander. Up to regional commander, platoon commanders, commissars were responsible for morale, but they're also responsible for mass political mobilization in the country. They were well trained, well selected, and specially trained, and specially selected to carry out that important job amongst the population. Most of you become veterans because you are interacted with them. Our people were able to supply food to plant combatants under very difficult conditions because of the political education. In fact, we called it political education, propaganda, and agitation at the same time. This is what you should do. Now we only have education, information, and mobilization, and information. What about propaganda and agitation? People need to be agitated to do something. Like this campaign to go and vote. This is about agitation, it's not about education. Because you also have SWAPO members who on the day of voting do not go to vote. They are not agitated enough. When you want to go and attack Oshakati, you agitate people. You don't educate them that there is a need to go and fight. Let them understand, but there's a need for agitation. And then you conduct a propaganda. Propaganda is against the enemy. We must also get to the enemy. This case is not enemy but opposition parties. In the old days, it was about enemy. That's why the system of apartheid collapsed on its own. It's because of the measures that were taken. We got into their minds and hearts, shook the foundations. If you don't shake the foundations of those who oppose us, who are hell-bent to destroy us through subversions and all that. The end is not the end. People are here still infiltrated, just like infiltrated during the liberation struggle. We still have spies. And you tend to forget. Those spies, who's going to remove them from the ranks of SWAPO? Even if they are known, using what instruments? I know Sisa is a lawyer, there might not be a law to protect us or things like that. But common sense must prevail. You just say, no, we don't trust you. Please, why don't you just resign and get out of here? Simple. Now, I want now to bring in the last element. This one I want you to listen very carefully because we have missed this point. And this brought us into where we are. Is this thing exiles, Eurovaruki, people who photo here, or people who photo there? There's no such thing. Look, it has never been the intention of SWAPO to fight from without our borders or outside our borders. The aim has been always to fight inside Namibia. But you understand circumstances don't allow that. That's why the first group, and the second group, and the third group. The first one was dispatched to go to Grootfontein, establish a base there. The second one was intercepted in Okavango, coming to establish themselves in somewhere north of Grootfontein, here where we are. The third one went up to Maheke, to assassinate that region. We were supposed to fight from inside the country. There are no fighters from outside. We are all fighting here. whether we're fighting from Angola, we're fighting from Zambia, we are all fighting here together with you. This thing of you are what, Umaru, it's not true. We do not go there to stay in Angola. We are forced by circumstances, but we are fighting here, all of us. From now on, I think we must now start thinking that, no, there's no such thing which those who are in exile, those who are in abroad, that's not official. Who was assigned by SWAPO to go and fight from abroad? Nobody. So, we're all fighting from here. There's no such thing of children are exile kids. This. We are all children of, if our children, they're all children of the struggle. They are not children from exile. Yeah. If you are all freedom fighters, we are all freedom fighters. Those of you who don't know. Those of you who don't know. There are so many people who are participating in this struggle. Nobody is more important or more for a freedom fighter than the other. Yes, there are categories of people. We are still with categories of people. Depending on what you are assigned, you cannot deny that Shali was assigned to plan. The other one assigned to present the SWAPO somewhere. Oh, this one. That's the only difference. This modus operandi that we apply. But these things must not divide us. That's one thing, and people are exploiting this to divide us. You hear people saying, the two boys, the last president from this group. Which group? What are you telling? What are you telling us? From which group? Then you have to explain from which group? Which group? In SWAPO. What is the official name for that group? There's no such a thing. There's no such thing. So, this education is very important. And this we must pay special attention to that. So, propaganda, agitation, these are the things we must start to educate ourselves. Please attend the party was named. I'm not, those people, for example, those who are joining the SWAPO for the first time, from even other political parties, this must be the first candidate to attend the party school, SWAPO Party School. And those aspiring to positions of leadership within SWAPO, these councillors here, the 7 of them after the elections, must find a way to go to the party school, even for a week. Then come back and run in this constituency. You cannot be there claiming you are SWAPO when you don't know nothing about SWAPO. Because it's education, we are failing education, and therefore we are failing ourselves. Now we go and blame a comrade. What does she know what SWAPO wants? She doesn't know. Nobody told her. She asked nobody. She pretended wearing a whole SWAPO attire. He's a SWAPO member and everybody recognizes her or him. That is not what it means to be SWAPO. You need to be educated and trained properly to carry out the aims and objectives of SWAPO and ascribe it to them as well. This is what we're doing, and this is what we're saying about political education within the party, outside, throughout the country. We don't have time to get into this complicated topic, but it's a social science subject. That is a process. It's not something that can take place in an event like this and think we have educated ourselves. Sorry for making it for too long, but I thought it's important to explain.
Well, thank you, Comrade General. Fellow young people, it is not every day that you get the chance to tap from the wisdom of a general, of a caliber of General Martin Shali. So I have taken a highlight from his explanation. He mentioned something that at the one point, the leadership of SWAPO was almost rendered ineffective. And the Youth League has to come in and revive the message of SWAPO, carry the message of a liberation struggle, and that is how we were able to achieve independence. Now, in an independent Namibia, moving to Comrade Nekongo, the Youth League serves as a vehicle of agitation to the mother body and the government it leads in terms of ensuring that the Congress resolutions of SWAPO Party, the resolutions and the provisions of the National Development Plan, the provisions of the SWAPO Party Elections Manifesto are implemented effectively and efficiently. Now you find a scenario where a certain cadre who is deployed by SWAPO Party has resolved as this, and there is no movement. Or a certain deployee blatantly refuses to implement that particular directive from SWAPO Party. And our comrade Secretary General is here as a custodian of the SWAPO Party administration. I just want you, Comrade Nekongo, to say what should happen then in terms of the Youth League and its role in that regard. What should the Youth League do when you have such a scenario where a comrade is given a responsibility and is not delivering in terms of our socio-economic development plan?
Thank you. And first of all, SWAPO Party Youth League have been at the helm of the campaign. We went some time ago and even tell those that in cabinet and say, sometime you were not where we were. You have not seen how SWAPO Party members were angry because of issues that are not attended to. Issue of unemployment, issue of education, health. They are here, they are continue telling us we do not have medicine, we do not have whatever. From our point as a SWAPO Party Youth League, that's where we come in and say if, and then I think General mentioned it here. I think also Comrade Sisa touched it and say, you are there, but you are not competent. People are not going to punish you. They will punish SWAPO. So if you can't do the work, just leave. I think General said it very well. If you can't do any work that is assigned to you, because we do not want SWAPO Party to fail, I think we must act before the people come and act on us. So we always humbly asking our leaders, especially those that are in cabinet, to implement the program of SWAPO. And this meeting is a very good meeting, and I like it because the leadership of the district decided we will have our engagement. And I want to encourage the leadership to continue. Call all those that are in cabinet, whether it's any minister, let them come here. Tell them. In fact, platform of this can not only be used when we have election. No. Bring a minister of health here and let people ask her question. And said, in our clinic here, we do not have medicine. So that you don't generalize. The young people that are here, sometimes they say, yeah, no, those is just politics, Here we must talk bread and butter. We must ask and say, the money that is asked are earmarked for us to benefit. Comrade Council, call that Minister of Finance. We want to see her, we want to ask her a question. It's through this meeting. Because if we can't call this meeting, we will end up being told lies from those who want to manipulate us. There is no other party in Namibia that can deliver progress like SWAPO. They can lie to you. But if we all unite together and say, this is our SWAPO party. For example, here in Grootfontein, people made mistake, and it's our time to tell them that we made mistake to have an opposition in the local authority. Because when the SWAPO party say, we want to put up a road there, this one is saying, no, it's not important. You understand? Then obviously you cut yourself from development. And that's why I'm saying, even those that are here may be sent by other political party. listen with your conscience. Go and vote for SWAPO Party so that we develop and we deliver without any problems. It's very important. We don't need to have any other seat from other people, those who came to eat only. No, we want to develop. So, to come to your question, service delivery is very high on the SWAPO Party manifesto. And we are not going to condone. That's why I'm already warning to say, those that are in cabinet, we are watching you. We can see you are talking good English, but up to now we are not seeing dust. We are not seeing that dust. We are only hearing you talking. Up to now I did not see any plot being serviced. I want to see the plot being serviced. Unfortunately, here I'm protected by all of you. I can say whatever I want. It's not just to talk. We want to hear and say, in Grootfontein as we speak, you see that excavator there, we are servicing land. Not just now, we are going to. 6 months is gone. The budget is standing, unfortunately. So service delivery, those that are in cabinet, respectfully, we are asking you humbly to deliver what we have promised the people of Namibia. That is what we are saying. We are not against anyone. We are not bad to anyone. We are just saying what we have promised the people, and now we are here now asking them again to say we are going to election, but now that you have Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, the President of the Republic of Namibia, and yes, indeed, our President of SWAPO Party, who is in charge of that steering. Now we are asking them that don't cut yourself from the government to let this fake opposition to pollute you with their lies and do wrong things. You see it in Windhoek, we can't deliver anything. In Walvis Bay, there are potholes like where we wanted even to plant trees when we went to lunch there, because it's just potholes. It's just a lot of talk. Don't make this mistake. Vote for SWAPO Party, then we will demand accountability and service delivery for the programs that are earmarked for us. So you, the leadership of Grootfontein District, especially SWAPO Party Youth League, and I must also say it here, the comrade from Otsozonjupa, let's face the reality. Enough is enough with this infight, which we are having ourselves. Enough is enough. And I salute you, the leadership, because even for us to come to this event, other people want to boycott. Boycott what? Boycott yourself? Enough is enough. Let's unite to campaign for our party to win elections. SWAPO is not individual. If you create your camp and what, this is not a SWAPO culture. I want to salute you, the leadership of SWAPO Youth League here. I decided to come because every time, especially SWAPO Youth League in this region, when an event is initiated, you are told, no, it cannot be held. Why? A campaign. No, enough is enough, colleagues. Enough is enough, Comrade Secretary General. This region is giving us tough time and is putting us backward. That's why we lose seat, because people are busy campaigning even for not to go and vote for SWAPO Party. We cannot allow that. So I was talking on service delivery, but for service delivery to happen, all of us, we must unite and make sure that not even any single vote goes to the opposition, so that we can able to deliver. Viva SWAPO.
Well, that is the Secretary of the warning shot. I hope the colleagues in cabinet are listening. I didn't say it is Comrade Nekongo who said it, but obviously he's the commander of young people, and they'll be able to defend him in that regard. Now, Comrade Sisa, we are going to move on to you. We are still in the context of social justice. That's the topic that has been assigned to you. And you have seen You have highlighted over and over again the transformation agenda, and it has been also amplified by the General and Comrade Nekongo here. Now, within that context, you cannot achieve social justice without economic development. Now, Namibia, everybody knows, is a rich country in terms of natural resources, but you are also in that field of law. You have seen conservancies in Namibia blocking development in terms of us setting up mines. We discover oil in a certain area and conservancies that are owned by obvious comrades or citizens approach a court and say, no, we have 3 lions here. We are going to endanger their life if we start mining diamonds in this particular area. Now you have that legal background, and obviously you can also advance that advice to government, because if we do not set up those industries, and that is what the president has been repeating to say, we must industrialize to create and set up those factories to create jobs, particularly for young people. But in the midst of still, you still have these counter-revolutionary forces that will still come and object in the name of some of what I have just mentioned. What would be your take on that?
Yes, it's very bad. It's very bad. The whole system. That's why I'm saying in politics, there appear to be socio-economic equality. But in the actual socio-economic space, because of the structure of our economy and our background, that's not the case. You would see that because of the transformation policies, young people are trying to get into mining. Young people are trying to get in tourism. Young people are trying to get all over because of the government favorable policies supporting formerly disadvantaged people, particularly the youth. But unfortunately, we have an aggressive cartel, particularly of the formerly advantaged people in this country. You have seen, for instance, in Menzi, the case I have been involved. We were told this country was placed on notice that if a Namibian company start running at the airport, planes are going to fall, whatever, and so forth. But we should be proud now that a Namibian airport is being run by Namibian young black people. Successfully. But we were told stories, and there were some, our own people, formerly disadvantaged, who looked down on the ability of black people. In the mining sectors, every time a young black person receives an EPL or whatever in areas, is as if for the first time exploration is being done in that area. People are talking about one rhino. One rhino. Apparently the future of Namibia is dependent on a rhino. You understand? But there have been formerly advantaged people mining in those areas before. So the problems in a socio-economic space, social justice for young people, there are so many problems. Structural, social, political, and all of them against young, black, professional and business people. And then obviously you have the mindset of all. The other time, and I must say it without fear, the president of the country opened my law firm. The next day, there was a huge article that the president is corruption. But then they invite the president to invite SPYL Genital Factory. And that there's nothing wrong with the president opening a SPYL Genital Factory, while a law firm cannot be opened by president of the country. What nonsense is this? So the mindset must also change in our country. And the jealousy within our community is also a problem. When my colleague Nekongo is running the Youth League successfully, then stories are all over. When a young person is running a banking institution, stories are all over. That is a problem and we must address that. But we must stay focused as long as we know that there is a constitutional obligation to everybody to transform our society and bring black up there. Then we'll be fine. Recently, I was looking at the law reports between 1920 to 1950. Law reports, court cases in Namibia. I was so surprised that there were already in 1920s cases, people fighting over tenders. But not a single case involved a black person. Liquidation, people fighting over mining rights. And that means that that generation and that race has been already promoted, empowered. It is time to empower black, particularly young one. Even if it means excluding the formerly advantaged, because they have been prepared unfairly. They have been prepared on the basis of apartheid laws and policies. They must give us space to prosper.
Thank you, Comrade Sisa. I hope young people are following. Young people are following because fellow young people, we make up 70% of this population. That means the future of our country, not only tomorrow, but now it depends on you, young people. Now, Comrade Shali, when he was speaking, he continued, he repeatedly said, we need to make sure we put our message across by whatever means necessary, and he highlighted a specific word, propaganda. Now, Comrade Shali, you have seen how the Western powers operate in terms of creating propaganda. I have seen there was a recent report that Namibia has been grey-listed as a destination for money laundering and all those things. And you have seen what is happening around Venezuela. And the American government is reporting to say there are drugs leaving Venezuela in the American hands. They are rounding up on Venezuela, and the world is believing that. Now, coming down to our topic of that was just an example to try to build up on in our own situation. You have seen in the past elections, whenever we are going to the polls, our leaders, especially SWAPO Party leaders, government leaders, including our late founding father, are being targeted. And all sort of lies are being told. As you have highlighted, people are saying that those comrades were not even fighting in exile. They just came back with a lot of it. Now, these are young people and they are listening to you. It is a time to put that information across in terms of what is happening in that spectrum of propaganda, and also using that opportunity to give them the right information in far as propaganda, either from our side in terms of getting the right message across to our people, or others using it against us or operate.
Yeah, thank you very much. These are important issues that we must put into context by sometimes referring to things that have happened during our lifetimes. I remember, for example, in terms of propaganda, agitation and all that, of fake news, spreading of fake news, misinformation, or rather, those who were there in 1989 when they came, there was an office in Windhoek set up specifically to target us. And it was effective. Only that SWAPO was strong. SWAPO was united, unbreakable. There were even slush funds that were dished out to left and the right. During the struggle itself, I have seen those pictures. And they're still somewhere in the archives. Of our leader, Seminioma, today is a lion swallowing a baby. The other day, this guy is eating grass. The other day, he's shooting and killing his own people. There was a reason for that. We did also the same. The border, we sang songs which they didn't like. Counter and counter propaganda is effective. But yeah, Commissioner spoke about transformation several times. Transformation processes are difficult to manage if not explained very clearly from an early stage, and if they are not made to be understood from the beginning. And this is where we need to change also. So it all boils down to political education. You need people specially trained to carry out these activities among us, SWAPO, and also we need to set up an office. I think I was in a meeting where we agreed that we need to have that office or small section in the office of the Secretary General to assist alternatively the Secretary for Information and Mobilization and Information effectively. I would recommend that it's necessary to look at that, to look at it again and see how effective it is. Let me give you an example of myself. Way back in 1977, when I was a detachment commander, I woke up, I got information from the people I sent into the field that, yeah, there's an enemy here. He's equipped like this, he's behaving like this, and then I decided as commander to go and attack. My political commissar, detachment commissar, tells me, no. Your plan is not well worked out. One, if we don't succeed, this is likely to demoralize our troops. One, the enemy is too strong, it's better equipped than others. I told the commissar, look, that's exactly what I'm trying to do, is to fight against the enemy who is better equipped than myself. So I'll find a way to attack them. Then I revised my plan. 3 times, the commissar refused. 3rd time, he said, I was like, you don't want to listen, go ahead. I went ahead. With the commissar in my group, I said, you're coming with me. So that commissar, I lost 7 cadres in that battle, 15 other wounded, including my commissar, who never returned, was severely wounded and never returned to fight again. And he's never forgiven me up to now. I'm just giving an example. So when you empower people to tell other leaders, the decision you are making, things you are doing, they are not right, it's not in the benefit of SWAPO. These are the people who must tell others that what you are doing is detrimental to our actions. Very quickly, there was an example here. Como Sisa spoke about jealousy. Jealousy that borders sometimes on stupidity, I must say. There was a guy here, most of you remember, there was a guy in the district of Mbalantu, in the Musachi region, who was trying to build an aircraft. You remember? He was building an aircraft. Then there was another guy near Ndangwa, near the airport, who was trying to build a helicopter. Then there was another guy in Windhoek who has, I don't know what the word is, but was trying to build a cell phone. Remember all this? What happened to the 3 of them? Do you know where they are? The system, the other guy was taken to an organization called West Air at Eros Airport. What the guys did, he said, you're the thing what you make, was told, that is wasting your time, you die in that thing. Instead of saying, no, look, you got the potential, this is what you're going to do. Instead, they give him a job. Later, they sent him to school, came back as a technician. He still works for them. They don't want to release him to go and continue building a first aircraft, first one made in Namibia. That's why we're killing talent. And the way is the government says, SWAPO Party, we are quiet. You don't even ask, where are these people? This is a typical example. I wonder how many others fall out of the way. You know, there were guys here building a car at Nast. And that car was even in the window could show. With engine and everything else. They took those children somewhere, sent them to study political science. Others went to do some other things. Educate, study, come back as teachers. Some were sent to become medical doctors because they did not want them to become scientists. And they make a car made in Namibia. And we were all quiet. So, it's not really about political education, but the things that they're talking about, that we are our best enemies. We ourselves are best enemies, because partly we are not well educated. The jailers that we're talking about, the pull him or pull head down syndrome. And of course, this thing of socio-economic equality that Comrade Sisa is talking about is very, very important. They must pay special attention to it. But most of all, political education must be at the forefront of our activities. That's the only way we can educate our cadres, our future leaders, through putting them through rigorous training and political education, giving them certificates and so forth. Because most of the time we put people through the party school, and 2 years later we wouldn't even know who they were and what they are doing, and how much successful they are within the organization or even through the country. So I hope the moderator will give me one more chance just to say one last or 2, 3 things, and also to thank you, Lay, finally, before we depart here. Yeah, but it's very important that we interact. If you read here behind me, you see SWAPO Party Youth League, igniting conversations of national interest. And I agree, these things must go, such events must be organized from time to time throughout the regions and so forth, without any obstacle, without fear of favor, because they're important to us all.
Thank you, Comrade General. Young people, comrade seniors, elders of SWAPO who came to join. This conversation is being live streamed to all corners of Namibia on all our social media platforms, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Facebook, Instagram. Other comrades who are not here, whether they are in Valvish Bay, whether they are in Okangwati or Congo or Gatana, they are following the conversation. Now, I have given the panelists a number of chances to explain and elaborate on the topics that have assigned to them. I would want us to have now a direct engagement. So I know, comrades, you have been listening. You probably have a lot of questions lined up. The panelists are still here. I see Comrade Shali, you want to run away, but we are still here, Comrade General. You have to answer some questions to the comrades. So I'm going to open the floor, comrades, for any questions. The panelists are here. You convey a specific burning issues that you have been having, especially in Grootfontein. As you know, we are facing elections on the 26th of November. SWAPO Party is ready with candidate. I believe before we leave from here, Comrade Secretary General is also going to introduce to you the SWAPO Party candidates for the Grootfontein Municipal Council, so that you know exactly the comrades that you must go and vote for. But before we do that, I am now calling for questions from the floor. If you have any questions, comrade from the media team, maybe you just have to assist us in circulating a revolving mic for the audience. If there is anybody in the audience who has a specific questions that is related to what we are discussing here, or perhaps anything that relates to the developmental agenda of our country and the administration of our party, the floor is open. You simply just raise your name. The comrades are here. They bring you a mic, and then you will be able to pose your question. Thank you.
On the municipality side, my question always is, we are voting the people, but when you come to the person you vote, he's answering like he wants. Especially in Grootfontein, SWAPO Party members we vote, we are not getting the right answers. Always it must be wait, or we are waiting the minister to answer, or maybe the councillor to answer, or maybe the governor to answer. But the person who is voted, he is the one who must answer the community right way. Even he is still waiting for the answer from the leaders. So that is the way how always we are far from our leaders to work together. At the end of the day, we are saying they are doing nothing. We cannot vote for whom or whatever. Especially what I want is the people we vote, they must listen to the community. Especially in Grootfontein. I am born in Grootfontein, and I know Grootfontein, how small and how he become big. How can you call a person you recruit in municipality, especially on the ground of taking papers, these general workers on the street, to apply for them without the requirement, and at the end of the day, you are calling these people to the interview. Interview, what does it mean to the general?
Comrade, I've given you a floor to ask your question.
Yes, but I have to explain what is there. I have to explain what is there because
I'm
it's
now
quite
counting
painful.
on my watch here. You have 30 seconds to conclude your question.
Only?
30 seconds
30
to conclude
seconds.
your question.
Okay, thank you. Now, what is from now, like you come as a SWAPO party, what do you achieve? Of what is your future for us as SWAPO party to develop Grootfontein? What is your challenges? What are you changing? Especially in municipality councillors as well as the governor of our regions.
The question is well taken.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
The question is, Comrade Nekongo, I'll also give you a chance to perhaps add on that. Give the mic to Comrade General Shali.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, indeed, you arrived late. It's number one. Number two, I'm not too sure. And this is a SWAPO Party Youth League Indaba. Your last sentence does not. I thought you were a SWAPO member, but your last sentence shows that you are not a SWAPO member. If you are not a SWAPO member, you have just come here as an agent provocateur. And therefore, your questions are placed at the wrong place, in the wrong time. If you are a SWAPO member, what you have raised, your concerns, we've been talking about same things that you have just raised. You were born in Grootfontein, you know the history of Grootfontein from colonial times to date. Everything that you knew about Grootfontein, like we're trying to explain, these things have been buried from today. We are starting from tomorrow, as the sun rises, we are completely SWAPO Party with own completely different things, continuing to do what we do best in the interest of all residents of Grootfontein, yourself included. But please, do not wait until an Indaba like this takes place to come and ask questions that they are raising. If indeed you are not a young man, you've been here all those years from what you said. I even know you personally. So, yeah, I've seen you here. So, don't wait until the meeting later. Report. You can even go to talk to someone in the office of the Secretary General about SWAPO, or go to the councillor, office of the governor. You know the channels of communication. You can't wait until they're so late. I don't know whether you're speaking on your own only behalf or you're speaking on behalf of the Grootfontein residents. But if you are not a SWAPO member, certainly you are an agent provocateur. If you are a SWAPO member, know how to communicate better. And learn to come to meetings early, then coming too late and asking those questions. What are teaching the children? We're talking about political education. What are teaching the children, including your own? What manners are these? Coming late and trying to provoke people after they want to conclude peacefully their meeting they've started. These are the things we're talking about, people like you. Stop this. They are not helpful to the nation building and to this country. Please, go think again.
Thank you, Comrade General. Comrade Nekongo, you still want to add on that?
I think General was straightforward. But what we think is that we have said, let the Indaba platform like this be created for us to talk about the development of either of our town or of our district. I think that is what is important. And also I've said it already earlier. Let's bury our past, unite together and campaign for our party. Let's campaign for our party. The leadership is put up there by the district of the local authority or where the councillor comes from. Normally they come from the district. So it's the same district that can be called to sit and discuss issues, whether it's with the councillor, respectfully, or with the local authority councillor. Bring up your issues peacefully. That's how we must do it in SWAPO. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Comrade Nekongo, for amplifying that message. Comrade, members of SWAPO Party, resident of Grootfontein, thank you so much for having joined this very fruitful conversation. There is another question. We are done with the questions. I've called on numerous times for questions. There was no interest, hence we have moved on from the chapter. We are now moving towards the end of our panel discussion. But before we do that, I'm going to give the last chance just to our panelists to round up. Perhaps there is something they wanted to put across to our audience, and maybe I did not accommodate it in the specific questions that I was asking. So I'm just going to give every panelist a chance. Comrade Sisa, you have the mic, just to round up on what we are discussing.
No, I think it's just to remind the youth in particular that one of the foundational values of SWAPO, in fact it has become a norm, is solidarity. In a society unsettled by poverty, crime and so forth, it is at that stage that you need solidarity of your fellow men and women. Let's encourage everybody around us to adopt a culture of being in solidarity with those who are underprivileged. A liberation struggle would not have been run so successfully if it was not for solidarity, particularly amongst the fighters, General Shali and them. That's why they sing, Ngewale mana moyita, Ngewale mana moyita, Umbatengebo, Hairwa, Hairwa yange, Menu wa meme, Hairwa kuminenge, Hairwa, Hairwa yange, Menu wa meme, Hairwa kuminenge, Oya baome dure tu.
Comrade Nekombo, your final words.
It's exactly 46 days left before the 26th November 2025. So meaning we have only 46 days for us to talk to everybody, to everybody in all 121 constituency and in all our local authority. SWAPO Party members, let's go out and mobilize ourselves. Let's also talk to those that were confused by the imperial formations that were created to cause problems in Namibia. Namibian, you have seen what is happening in Windhoek. You have seen what is happening in Walvis Bay. So let's go and do the right thing. The President of the Republic of Namibia and the 8th administration is ready to provide leadership for unity and diversity, natural resources beneficiation, youth empowerment for sustainable development. So tell your friend, tell your neighbor, this time around, these elections, you are only going to vote for SWAPO. All Namibians, let's all go and vote for SWAPO. And then come 27, we must celebrate the victory. So that's my last one. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Comrade Nekombo, Comrade General. Your final words.
My final words are this. I think this Indaba has been very successful because this is a meeting of important people discussing important matters that matter to them. And they came out clearly. One of them is winning the elections. One of them is winning the elections. Here, in this district, and in all other districts, 121 throughout the country, there will be no excuse on the 27th to say, no, why we did not win. Sorry for those who are competing with us. We are not giving you any chance. Certainly, you have also disqualified yourself many times in the eyes of the public, and our people, Namibian people, they don't trust you anymore. Therefore, you have to wait perhaps another 5 years to try again. On that note, on the day, let's wake up. Voter apathy is one biggest problem that we must fight. We are so many not to win. We are so many not to win. But let us all go out in full force to exercise our individual rights. When collectively put together, they translate into SWAPO Party victory. Amen.
Thank you. There you heard it from our panelists as we are rounding up our panel discussion. We continue to sing unity in diversity, natural resources benefication, and youth empowerment for sustainable development. Now, because we are facing elections and we are in a local authority, I just want to highlight something to you before we round up. That the government of the Republic of Namibia, under the leadership of Her Excellency Comrade Dr. Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah, said we must formalize all the informal settlements, whether in Grootfontein, in Oshakati, in Katima Mulilo, and she has appointed a very radical minister that this councillor that you are going to vote on behalf of SWAPO Party, if they don't deliver, Comrade, you know already what Comrade James Sangwasa is going to do to them. So in case you have any worries, in terms of comrades performing, don't worry, Comrade Sangwasa will take care of them and SWAPO Party will give you the right people again. But don't donate your vote to the useless opposition. In that note, Comrade, elders and young people who came to listen to us and have a conversation with us, let us continue to follow our program until it